So, wife of Bath has been speaking for a very long time, and in the last section, as well as in many instances before the last section, she has accused her husbands of many things and being misogynistic and trying to control her, keeping her in the house forcibly, and many other things that wife of Bath has accused her husbands of doing. And she has been speaking for a very long time to the other pilgrims. And this section will tell you whether all these are true at all. So, this section is called About Cheating. So, wife of Bath continues, Masters, like this, as you must understand, did I my old men charge and censure, and claim that they said these things in drunkenness, and all was false, but yet I took witness of Jenkin and of my dear niece also. So this section comes as wife of Bath's own confession, and she says that that's how I accused and harassed my husbands. I told them that they have said all these things about me, and I told them and I claimed that they said all this when they were drunk. And she says that all of these were false accusations, and none of these have actually happened. But she has already said, and kind of looking for validation for, deceit. And she said already that deceit is one of the most powerful weapons that women have got. And deceit comes naturally to women. So now she validates her false accusations, and she says that although the accusations were all false, I told them that they said this when they were drunk. And she also had Jenkin, the apprentice with whom she was apparently having an affair, and also her niece to back up her claims, and they would bear false witness to all of her false accusations against her husbands. O Lord, the pain I gave them and the woe, all guiltless too, by God's grief exquisite, for like a stallion could I neigh and bite, I could complain, though mine was all the guilt, or else full many a time I'd lost the tilt. So she confesses that I would harass them so much while they were totally innocent, and all these accusations that she has been making for so long in this narrative, in her own narrative, was false, and she confesses it that they were false. But at the same time, she also thinks that these accusations were necessary, and she says that I would complain even if it was my fault and not there. And she would cry and bite and kick. And this was necessary because or else I would lose the fight. And she would lose the argument. So because she doesn't want to lose the argument against her husband, and it's a part of her greater plan to actually make them feel very guilty and take all the wealth or money they have and keep them under his own name to own her husband's money. So it's a part of her larger scheme. So it was actually necessary for her to do all these false accusations and deceits, or else she would lose this fight, and she would cry and bite and kick and make up a scene. She has a penchant for drama, and she would also have false tears. And it was said in a proverb that tears are a woman's greatest weapon, and this tears is kind of a deceit, and that comes naturally to her. Whoso comes first to mill first gets meal ground. I whimpered first, and so did them confound. They were right glad to hasten to excuse, things they had never done, save in my ruse. And it's a proverb that whoever goes to the mill first gets the wheat ground first, and it's like the early bird gets the worm. Whoever comes first actually gets what they want. This is the proverb, and this is a kind of tactic that wife of Bath uses. I've talked about it in the previous sections, that this was her scheme, that accuse them first because before they could accuse you. That way you can have the upper hand in the argument, in the fight within matrimony. And because she did this, she accused them first because before they could accuse her. And this also happened once previously when she was having this affair with Jenkin, and to actually save her from being accused of this affair, she would accuse her husband of having an affair with the neighbor lady. So the moment she accuses her husband of having an affair with the neighbor lady, and that was true, a false accusation, her husband couldn't actually accuse her anymore of having an affair, but she was actually having an affair with Jenkin, and her husband wasn't really having an affair. And because she could accuse them first, they were glad to apologize for things they have never done. So, although they have never done any of the things that the wife accuses them of, they still apologize to her. With wenches would I charge him by this hand, when for some illness he could hardly stand. And this gets a bit too serious, because now she says that I would accuse him of having affairs with women when he was sick and could hardly stand. And this is also her scheme, that to attack and accuse an old husband, an old man, when he is terribly sick. And if she can accuse him when he is so sick that he could hardly stand, he won't be able to fight back. So she gets really ruthless here, and she accuses her husband when he is sick so that he cannot fight back. So these are some of her schemes that she has used to keep her husbands in control. And she very guiltlessly confesses all these tactics that she has used for controlling her husband to all the pilgrims that are there journeying in the pilgrimage in Canterbury Tales. So this was it.